Church Street for the first time today. Uncharted territory.
This is the train to New Bedford, the Bedford train. Next stop, Church Street Station. Next stop, Church Street.
Alright, this is Church Street. Not much here. Ow. As I bang my elbow on the trash can. It is not much. Everything is down that way. And a ton of shopping over there. Emergency box if needed. They really should retrofit these to the older stations. Apparently there's a bike path. They really should retrofit the emergency boxes in the EV charging. So South Coast Rail is 1 year and a few days old. Thought it was time for me to sort of finish this. At least start on it. So this is my first time at Church Street. I always wanted to come here, mostly because of in that plaza over there is always discount bargain outlet. And that is supposedly, a wasteland for old Hasbro toys, being Transformers and Beyblade. The main problem is that, according to Google Maps, to get around there is about a 20-minute walk. That's not bad. But there's no sidewalk, supposedly. So one of my... Can't even tell if I'm in frame or not. There's this shade. Pardon the hum. So, something else... There you go. Don't have the tripod on. So, something else is that when South Coast Rail opened up, one of my complaints, and I think a lot of people had this complaint, Here's a camera. Is that there was no bus connections, essentially. The stations looked fine. They functioned. They looked modern compared to the old Colony Rail stations. But there were no bus connections. The L4 in Middleborough, that will always be bad. That needs more trips. Besides, there are only 2 round trips. That needs more. And I think they have to fix the schedule because the train was arriving as the bus was leaving. I don't know if they fixed that part yet. Someone's using the EV charging. I think the outbound is, or the inbound is coming soon. But, so, there's an SRTA bus. Taunton fixed the 8. That now serves as a station, as we saw. But SRTA, I don't think they can deviate the 102 to Freetown or Fall River Depot. And then SRTA has a bus there. And in that direction, I don't know the route numbers. So one is over there in a Stop and Shop plaza. One is about 16 to 20 minute walk in that direction. There is no bus that serves Church Street directly. So that needs to be fixed. It's actually a big parking lot, considering how many cars are here. I do think the station itself is fine. It's the fact that there are no bus connections that I take the issue with. And the fact that there's so much shopping in that direction, but you gotta take the long way around to get over there. That is something I said in my original review on Miles in Transit video. If I can, I'll take a screenshot and I'll leave it at the end of this video. I'm not sure if I should go to New Bedford or not. I'll check the schedule and go from there. It's also very windy out for spring. It snowed yesterday for about an hour. So, New England weather. So this might be it for this one. Very short video today. Alright, so 59 minutes until the train to New Bedford. I will say, they got benches on the edge of the street. Here and here. There's a crosswalk. Bike path. Why doesn't SRTA deviate? Oh, I forget the numbers. I think 27 is that way. I think it's the 8 over there in that Stop and Shop. I could be wrong. Why don't they deviate one of them over here? Because that is a big parking lot. You can easily get, they use 40-footers? I think you can get one in there and deviate, turn around. So, New Bedford, they have a street stop. So why can't Church Street? Taunton did fix that after Route 8. It serves the station curbside now. So it's just a matter of, do I try to get the 27 over there to the terminal and then get a bus to New Bedford? go to Ollie's and McDonald's and get something and warm up. How come every time I visit South Coast Rail, it's freezing? It seems to be a pattern. So, according to Google Maps, we are going to go visit Church Street and New Bedford Station today. Just to say I did it on the IB at late 1 year anniversary. So we just visited church. It was a 204 that's over here. I think all the New Bedford routes start with the 2. So 204 goes by New Bedford Station on its way to the terminal. So I think the plan, can you tell I don't think these things through? So the plan is to get the 204 to whatever stop I need. And then get the train back north to Boston. And then I can say I visited all the South Coast rail stations. But the 204 departs in about 15 minutes. And I think this is a 15-minute walk. And SRTA doesn't use transit or Paseo Go. So, hopefully, make it. Alright, made it for about 10 minutes to spare. So this is the Route 204. That's going towards the terminal, and it'll go past New Bedford Station. The 208 is the one that stops at Stop and Shop over there. Now, if this being a residential street, you can't have the 204 deviate to the Church Street station. So that makes sense. I don't see why you can't have the 208 deviate to the train station. I think that would be better. I don't think you can get the 204 using the 40-footer down this street. It's too small, too narrow, especially with snow. And SRTA is very weird. They have their own proprietary tracker, which has the real-time tracking. But they are on transit that is a scheduled departure. Now I can actually think and speak properly. Kinda. Now I'm here. Now that I know to wait. Oh, thought that was a dial ride for them. That's another thing. Their micro service, micro connector. I was like an hour and a half late because I think it runs 4 a.m. to 9 a.m. and then 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. I think is the time. So I couldn't use it. I could have used it to go from Church Street to New Bedford Station, but I missed the window. I have to try again, maybe. So now we wait. I have to use this to track the stop, so no ride footage, I guess. But SRTA is also free. So, looking at Google Maps, this is what they want me to do. Trying to get to New Bedford. They want me to cross the highway. Because it's the quickest route. No, I'll just take the bus to the terminal and get off at whatever this stop is. You mad, Google? Like, that's a highway. Or if it's not a highway, it's an extremely busy street. It's what I don't like about Google Maps and walking directions. Horrible. Alright, so we're taking the 204 all the way to the terminal. And getting whatever bus we need over here. Potentially an Uber. Quick little push of what New Bedford is like. Very hard to get a bus down here in the UPS truck.
Ashley Boulevard and Holly Street.
Nice loud speaker. And I gotta pay attention to Google Maps because something interesting popped up. Can't get much bigger than that down here. So I checked the Google Maps again, and there's well, you can see it, a pedestrian walkway over the highway. I was using transit, not Google Maps. Also, gotta use this. Too bumpy. One thing I don't like about transit in small systems, the stop isn't always necessarily accurate, because it said I was approaching Purchase Street and Will Street, so either the driver was going too fast for me to ring the bell, or the stop info isn't 100% accurate, because I want it off all the way back here. See where good, you?
I'm good.
You too. Purchase Street and Will Street. I think it's all the way down here. And as you can see, I've been walking for a little bit. Gonna keep this in to show you how long I've been walking for. Purchase Street. Campbell Street. Thank you. Go ahead. is still a busy street, but there is a crosswalk. Purchase Street and Mill Street. So, I want it off right around here. And the driver let me off all the way down there. So either he was going too fast for me to ring the bell, which is very unlikely considering this street, or transit isn't 100% accurate. Or it could have just been my fault and I rang it too slowly. But this is the pedestrian walkway, so I take back my insult to Google Maps. This was designed for South Coast Rail. Although I wouldn't mind a proper walk signal. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I take back my... I doubt any cyclists pay attention to that. And you got laney lanes in case you need a break. And this is one of those moments. But yeah, I couldn't cross that. That's an actual highway. So, my mistake. Google Maps, pedestrian walkway. Thank you. See what happens when I don't plan these things out of advance and I wing it? And we get an elevator review. And there's another police box. I love this thing. Alright, they're not in Boston, but it's also been a year, so what's it smell like? Doesn't smell that bad. Actually, it smells like someone just cleaned it. Just cleaned them. I don't know where to build this plate. Yeah, I don't know who made them. So this is New Bedford Station. I suppose if you wanted to, you could wait in there. And there's some artwork. Depending on the train in the season, you could wait in there. So let me check Google Maps and figure out what route stops here. Alright, so the 211 stops here on its way to Fairhaven. Keep in mind, I am not too familiar with SRTA, so the following rant might have the wrong route numbers. So I don't see the reason why the 211 can't pull in, because the station looks big enough to support the bus turning around. So I don't see why I can't get curbside service. Let's see if I have this right. The 204 makes sense as to why you can't serve Church Street curbside, because it has to drive through a residential neighborhood. I'm going to say it's 208, the one that stops at the Stop and Shop. That I don't see why it can't serve Church Street. Unless it's just not possible, the route is too long. Gatra just confuses me in general. The reason why I say that is because they actually fixed the problem I had with the 8 and or the 5. That now the 8 serves East Taunton curbside outbound. It can't serve inbound, unfortunately, due to the way the route is structured. The L4 needs more round trips. Plus, I remember on the first day of service, the L4 was leaving as the train was pulling in. So that could be fixed, if they haven't fixed it already. And then I think it's the 112 for SRTA for Freetown and Fall River Depot. Freetown actually has a bus stop in the parking lot, so I don't know what the deal is for that. Why it can't get curbside bus service unless it's just too long of a deviation for the 112. And in Fall River Depot, that also makes sense why you can't get it, because again, a residential neighborhood, the streets are too that's when my tongue stops working. It's when the 112 can't serve Fall River Depot because the streets are too narrow. I don't like it, but I understand it. So you have the excuse with Freetown and Fall River Depot. Church Street, I don't really understand it, but at the same time I can, because the two routes that are close by, one of them can't do it due to residential neighborhoods, and the other might not have time in the schedule. I don't know. This one, I don't really have the excuse for this. The 211 can definitely serve over there. Not there. Gatra fixed one of their routes, but then you got the L4 and the fact that Attleboro and Taunton connect and nothing else really connects in a good way. Plymouth and Raham connect via school bus contract, apparently. And then Raham connects to New Bedford with 2 to 3 round trips. Might be 4. So, see if I can get a screenshot or a screen recording of my comment from Miles' video from last year. But essentially nothing really changed. These are good stations. The design is good. I do wish that they had hidden elements similar to the Silver Line in Boston. Because at the start of this recording, the next train to Boston is in 46 minutes. And as someone who does not have a car, my options are an elevator. The microtransit service SRTA has isn't running at the moment. So that's really it, honestly. Like, I'm trying to think of what else I can say. The 211 should serve at curbside. The others, I don't know enough about those routes or the area to justify it. It's just an armchair observation. Getra fixed the Route 8. The L4 needs work. And BAT has always had that issue of the 10, 11, 8 not serving the stations curbside. So I believe that's it for this. I can now say I've been to all the South Coast rail stations. My favorite out of all of them, I think it's Pearl River Depot. Only because you might have something over there that I'm just not aware of, and you do have access to it via the bridge and the elevators. But Fall River Depot, you have a Burger King, a Dunkin', and a diner within walking distance, and they're easy to spot. There might be something over there that I am just not aware of. Keep that in mind. But Church Street, it's about a 20-minute walk to the closest McDonald's, and about 25 minutes to the store that I wanted to visit, Ollie's Bargain Discount Outlet. New Bedford, I like the bridge. In the Middleborough, is really more of a relocation, because Old Middleborough, you had the gas station up the street, and the new one, you're closer to another gas station and a Dunkin' Donuts and a Walgreens. So on Freetown, there's nothing to do. There's nothing. There's a dial right I was looking for. So I think Fall River Depot is my favorite. I love the bridge. I love the bridge New Bedford has. I would love to see a smaller bridge at Church Street to all the retail over there. And I think that's it for this one. So, recap. Getra fixed the Route 8. L4 needs problems. Your whole system needs to be fixed with a connection to everything. BAT has always had that problem of not serving the station's curbside. SRTA. Fall River Depot makes sense why you can't serve it. Freetown, I can see it, but I don't agree with it. Church Street, I can see it, but I don't agree with it. New Bedford, I think you need to fix that. And that's it. A happy 1-year birthday to South Coast Rail. Happy birthday.